Teachers, please take a minute to go back through your files and make sure that you don't have a shared document with someone who should not be able to view it anymore. I will show you an example in my Google Drive where I have a document that I shared last school year. Now, some of these people do not need to see this document any longer. Right here, my day one rules is always what I would go over during my rotation for my students so that they would have the same information for the first few days to make sure that we were able to share the same information. The most important part was the acceptable use agreement from Johnston County Schools and digital citizenship. Well, because we shared it to teach, we also shared it with all of the technology people within the county because we were asked to share our way of sharing the digital use agreement with others as a favor for the county. So, when I did, I shared it out to somebody and then they shared it out to all the other tech people in the whole county. As you can see though, I don't probably want all of these people to continue to see my document, especially because some of these people are no longer with Johnston County Schools or are no longer needing to have this document any longer. So I would go down through and find those people that don't need to be viewing my document any longer. Okay. Once I find someone that should not be seeing my document anymore because they are not a tech person anymore in the county or because they just don't need to have my document any longer, I can just go next to their name and click an X and then save the changes. And then, now, if I have something where someone can edit and they only need to view, I can change it here. Also, if I have someone in my list that could edit before and I only want them to view it, I can change it here also. So right here, she is no longer in our group, so I might change her now just to view since she's not one of the tech people in the county office that deals directly with the technicians of the county. Alright, and then of course I might change over a few others that I know are only part of the technology crew. Then I would save my changes. So this is how you delete people that are no longer needing to have your document, or you need to change someone who shouldn't have ownership of your document or editing rights to your document. This is how you change it. Alright, another thing to consider when you're looking at your documents is, do you have a document from somebody else that you need to keep for yourself? So let's say, I'm going to go in here to my quotes that they send me, and here's a document that someone else in the county sent me to tell me what we're going to do with our high quantity purchases. And if I need to keep this as my own personal document, I can view this here, but this isn't my document. This is her document. It's a view only. If I want to have this as my own personal document because she might leave the county or because she is no longer at our school, I would make a copy for myself, and then I would just name it Polenta in the front. That way I know that's my own personal copy. Or I could even put my first name or last name in the front to let me know that that's my own personal copy. Now I can revise, edit, and share with whomever I would like to share with. Now this becomes my document based on her document. Okay, so if you find a document, once again, you find a document someone else shared with you. For instance, I have a bunch from Broadcast so that we could get started this year. Okay, and a lot of these are not my personal copy. They were sent over to me. So if I want one of these, and it's a view only, or one that's not mine, okay, this one was shared by Kelly Davis. If I want this to be my document, I would then make a copy of this Now, just beware that because you created a copy of it, you're no longer sharing that document if you do any updates within the Polenta document. So if you're intentionally sharing a document with your grade level, you don't want to change from their ownership. The only time you want to change ownership is if someone has left the building or left the county and you are trying to maintain documentation that's supposed to be only for Polenta Elementary. Alright, I hope this helps us all to make sure we're only sharing our documents within the school.